Hi, this is Emma again. So there is an issue I do want to speak about. I'm going to speak about the issues on my channel. So, Suboxone, buprenorphine, naloxone, 8 milligrams over 2 or 4 over 2 or whatever your concoction is. Suboxone, is it a treatment method? Is it recovery, or is it government drug dealing? Let's find out.
My cats like it.
So, Suboxone was originally developed, I want to say, and I'm not like referencing anything, but from my memory, Suboxone came out in the early 2000s. My first interaction with it was when I was 17, and I kind of started, I started the heroin thing. And it was supposed to be a way to get off heroin. Cool. Back in those days, it was a pill, sublingual, also tasted like disgusting, or kind of like orange glow, and it was supposed to minimize the craving. And now I know a little bit more about it. Suboxone, buprenorphine, naloxone works because buprenorphine is an opioid, semi-synthetic, so it's a man-made opioid. And it binds to receptor sites and gives your brain the illusion that it's using an opiate. The naloxone, which is an opiate antagonist, binds to opiate receptor sites and eliminates the ability to overdose and actually get high at all off of regular opiates. So there's just something interesting about the pharmacological makeup, the pharmacodynamics of buprenorphine, is that it triumphs over the antagonistic properties of naloxone. So, that's all fine and dandy. Not too long ago, a couple years ago, they released a strip version. It's supposed to be more cost effective. There have also been, I'm not sure if there's a certified generic yet, but certain other versions like Subutex exist. Subutex is just the buprenorphine, does not contain naloxone, and it's primarily geared towards pregnant women because naloxone, the naloxone component can be damaging. So the question is, if you're on Suboxone, are you clean? And, my background is in heroin, and my professional life is working in a treatment center. So I can tell you that Suboxone has become the drug du jour for a lot of people, especially in the prison system. In the federal prison system where I was, one strip of Suboxone would cost you $1,000. Up to. Jail less because it's a little easier to access, but basically, it's big money. It's hard to test for. There's a specific test that has to be administered because your normal 6-9 panel, whatever drug test is not going to find buprenorphine because it is semi-synthetic. It doesn't have the opiate markers and it is not metabolized the same way. But because it doesn't show up in your urine the same way, etc., it has a high preponderance of use amongst those who don't want to be detected using. And for people who don't have a high opiate tolerance, that is for people who probably have never done opiates or have many years of abstinence, it produces hugely euphoric effects similar to that of heroin. I have personally seen girls in prison do less than like the corner of a strip and be out of their minds, like crazier than my best, worst, whatever you want to call it, heroin adventure. So now what we have is individuals whose drug of choice is meth, coke, crack, whatever you want to say, alcohol, and they try this stuff and it's amazing and they love it, but they're still altering their mind with mind or mood altering substances, so they're escaping from their problems, filling themselves with something else. So that is my question, is Suboxone legit? And my opinion on this used to be a little different. I will say that there was a time when I said, well, Suboxone's okay, but methadone isn't. And my reasoning for that was, there was a long time ago when I used to work with a forum/video channel, where the guy had 9 months clean. He didn't have 9 months clean, he had 9 months on methadone. Methadone has a very different pharmacodynamic set of actions. The way that it is metabolized in the body means you're going to go through 30 days of withdrawal, whereas your average opiate will put you between 3 days to 2 weeks, whatever. So you're talking 30 days of mind-numbing withdrawal, to the point where I actually have met someone who got back on heroin to get off methadone because the 3 days of withdrawal was so much better than the month. And that was it. I was thinking, well, methadone is just government profiteering. Yeah, it's like 7, 8, whatever, how many dollars a day, and that's better than heroin. It's still condemning you to use a substance for the rest of your life. So we look at the other aspects, the pharmacological, the pharmacodynamic aspects, and the toxicological aspects of an opiate. Opiates are not that damaging to the body, and that's just a fact. The route of administration and the means to get more are what vilify opiates. Opiates are a natural substance. I'm not saying go out there and do opiates by any means. What I'm saying is they're relatively benign when looked at against alcohol or even tobacco. With that in mind, vape break.
So your cat.
Cat. Anyway, so, I mean, I'm not an angel. I'm definitely not. So, I saw this meme that came out, and it had like a Suboxone strip or whatever, and it said, this is not recovery, it's government drug dealing. So, I'm not exactly sure what brand puts out Suboxone. I'm not even sure if there is a generic at this point. I know that naloxone is available. Naloxone is available with or without a prescription in some states, and also blocks opiate receptors. It's like the anabusive opiates. So you're not going to be able to get high, and supposedly it reduces the cravings. And I mean, I'm going to preach abstinence all day over anything. You know, go to a meeting, you know, get some steps in you, get some spirituality, hear the message. Abstaining from all mind or mood altering substances is going to be the best route for anybody. But a lot of rehabs are prescribing Suboxone to assist with detox, medically assisted detox. It's not a new thing. MATs are not a new thing. You don't even have to go to a treatment center to do that. You can go to an MAT center right in your city if you live in a big enough city. But the real question is that worth it? Yeah, you don't have to deal with the withdrawals immediately, but Suboxone does have withdrawals. WebMD.com cites, you know, insomnia, anxiety, excessive sweating. All of the hallmark withdrawal symptoms are there, but they might be there in smaller frequencies, and they might be there not as rampantly, I would say.
Vicious.
Not as vicious. And I can tell you, heroin withdrawal sucks. It's awful. But getting through it is amazing. When you actually look and you're like, oh my gosh, I woke up and I don't feel like shit, then unless there is some other reason that you're continuing to use, which there usually is, you wouldn't want to jump right back into it. Admittedly, I withdrew in jail. I didn't have much of a choice, you know, so I spent 2 weeks in a shower. It's difficult to do on the streets, but you know, getting off heroin, stopping the, I don't know, putting of needles into veins is great. However you slice it, I guess, in summation, I would say, if you are using it therapeutically under the guise of a medical professional, then Suboxone is okay. Okay. But by all means, it is not the best remedy. So, you know, thank you for this little rant on Suboxone. I think I found my forte on these videos, and, you know, peace, love, and tea, and money, money, money,
Meow.
money.
Hey.
Oh, husband.
By the way, this was from the earlier video. This is the cat that was in question about getting into an illicit
That's not the good cat.
No, this is the cat that got into the substance.
That's his cat. My cat is much better. All right, guys.